Hello, and welcome back to Entrepreneur Talks podcast. This is season 4. Thank you for being with us through all the previous seasons, and we're going to have more fun and inspirational stories for you to hear on season 4. My name is Yola Bastos. I'm one of the co-founders of Women Flix network community. We are focused on empowering and motivating women around the world to achieve their dreams. We mainly support them through coaching, business strategies, and workshops. Our aim is to build connections that will increase the power of women in collaboration and be able to create space for growth and expand our knowledge. Find more about Women Flix through Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. You can find us always by Women Flix. I also want to say welcome to my guests on this new season. And I hope for my listeners to enjoy every episode and get in touch with each of my guests through the information that will be available on each podcast episode description. My guest for today's podcast is Silvia del Corso. Silvia has been working as a SEO specialist for a long time, almost a decade, helping small businesses owners get their websites found better on Google for keywords that drive them targeted traffic to their websites. Silvia will explain to us more about what is SEO and her journey. So let's welcome Silvia del Corso. Hello, Silvia del Corso. Welcome to my podcast today. I'm so delighted to have you here with me and excited to hear about your story.
Hi, Yola. Thank you so much for inviting me here. I'm so glad to be part of your podcast. I feel honored. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, you're welcome. Fantastic. So tell me, Silvia, for start, where are you talking from? Where are you based, each country, and where are you from as well?
I live in West London and I've been living here for 4 years now. Yesterday was actually the anniversary of my relocation and my moving here, so it was an emotional day for me. I'm originally from Italy, as you can hear from my accent.
I thought so. That's amazing. Wow. I did thought about it. I said, maybe she's Italian. She sounds like Italian, but I don't know, right? So sometimes I make mistakes. Everyone makes. And I could think you are from another country, but there we go. Yes, Italy. Va bene. I just know some words. Thank you so much for letting me know. So you've been in UK, in London for 4 years.
4 years. We came here in July 2016 and we relocated with all the family together. And it's been amazing being here and I've never looked back. I'm really, really glad that we took this decision.
That's fantastic. So I'm in London as well. So we are very close and also in West London. Fabulous. Good to know that we are kind of neighbors. Mm-hmm. So tell me a little bit, how did you start this PinkSEO marketing? How everything started? When did you start your own business?
Well, it started quite a bit of time ago because it started 11 years ago.
All right.
Back in Italy. Yeah. My husband and I used to run together a small family-led digital agency. And it was the typical general digital marketing in which you create websites and apps and do social media, PR, email marketing. I was doing SEO. And then, Italy is not the easiest place to run a small business, particularly in this time. So we struggled to try and keep it open as much as possible. And then in the end, we said, you know what, we are ready to move on, particularly for the kids, to give them a bigger career potential as grown-ups. So we moved here. And when I was here, I realized...
Yeah. There's a baby around, right? Can you hear?
I had to open the door. I'm sorry.
That's okay. No problem.
I realized that I wanted to only focus on what I like to do the most, which is SEO. So I decided to cut all the other business branches and only to focus on this and become as cutting edge and laser focused as possible. And this has been the best choice I could have done because, I mean, for me, it's amazing because I'm doing what I love to do. Because
That's
this
amazing,
is
right?
most, and it's great for the business as well because being extremely niche makes it easier for people to refer to me because they know that with time the business has grown and now we are a small agency. We've got 2 web developers and it's been growing and even for the it is growing more as an agency, but it's only focused on SEO. So we can be referred only for that, but it's immediate to think of us when you think of it, because that's what we do. And for us to refer to others, because all the things that we don't do anymore, we refer out to other business owners that we've got to know. So people who do social media, email marketing, PR. Now that we don't do this anymore, we can pass work nicely throughout all the other people. Yeah.
That's really good. But now I'm gonna come with a question for my listeners be able to understand. Can you explain what is SEO?
Well, yeah, the acronym of SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization, and it is basically a number of techniques that you need to do in order to optimize your website, make it better on Google. No matter which product or service you offer, there is someone who's searching for it on Google. So if you optimize your website, you can make sure that people can find your site better than your competitors when they're looking on Google. And this makes quite a big change in terms of revenue if they find you instead of somebody else.
Oh, so that is I'm sorry, Silvia, carry on. Yes.
It's just to explain to you that the way that we do this, because SEO is unfortunately an unregulated industry, so it doesn't require particular qualification to be an SEO specialist. So you may hear people saying they do SEO from any field of work, copywriters who optimize the content, putting keywords within the titles and various parts of the articles and the pages, or people trying to sell you backlinks. These are all elements that help, but SEO needs to be looked at in a more holistic approach, because even we've got a very strong technical approach. So we work a lot within the code of the site, analyzing there are hidden issues that may be holding the site back from ranking on Google as good as could be, and fixing them all, basically simulating to see the site as Google would do. That is not as we would do. They see it as boring strings of code and not as fancy and colorful as we do. But yeah, we need to see if there are any blockages or anything within the code, within all the assets that need to be optimized as well.
Fantastic. So once again, SEO comes to search engine
optimization.
Engine optimization. Okay, I missed the A engine because I'm putting on my I'm also taking my notes and I'm like, oh yeah, this is very important because I hear a lot of SEO, SEO, CEO, and CEO, and I'm like, oh, is one with C like for
director, the chief executive officer. Yeah, that's the managing director. Instead, with an SEO, that is Google, basically making friends with Google and making your site better loved by Google. Yeah.
So you said that you love to do this, right?
Yeah, I love it because it's something very measurable. I know it's a little bit of a nerd job. It's more, yeah, it's something that generally is not and is not something that women like as much as men, because it's more technical, it's more within the IT. So, and one of the reasons why I called it PinkSEO is because when I've been going to all of the conference events in the industry ones, there's always a lot of men and just a handful of women within departments or anything. So I wanted to proudly state that I'm a woman and I love doing it. And I believe that the reason why I love it is that it's very measurable and it's not about opinions, but it's about numbers and figures and stats, and anything you want to do needs to be backed up by numbers. So you basically measure and then do stuff and see what happens next. So you can immediately see if what you've done works or not. If it doesn't, give an improvement. Maybe your site is ranking on the 4th page of Google for something. Then you do some changes and you track again. And if it improves, then it works. Otherwise, you have to change and refine the strategy a little bit and work a little bit differently. So everything is very measurable. And even to report to clients, I can immediately say, see, your website traffic has now grown so much because we've been doing this, or now your site is ranking for these keywords because we've been doing that. So you immediately see what you do and how it affected positively somebody.
That's really good. And when you say keywords for the website, that keywords, they will be on the description on the website, or they will be just on the tags? I don't really know. I'm trying to understand, to learn more about it, but I think it's a good question for you to explain to me and to my listeners. It's all about, when you say keywords, they are words that are visible to anyone that reach the website, or is just on the background of the website?
No, you're right. It is a very good question indeed, and they need to be visible on the website. When I started doing this 11 years ago, then you could have some kind of shady technique and hiding keywords and doing something like that. Now you can't anymore. Now you need to use the words that people use. So basically, Google, the search engine needs to make a love match between someone who's looking for something which you produce or which you offer and your site, and the criteria of matching the two, you and them together, needs to be the relevance. So your site, your page is relevant to what they search for. So the words that they use when they search for stuff on Google must be on that page of yours, but not in hidden pages. They need to be there in a lot of particularly clear parts of your page. They are visible and people can find them. And it's also an element of confirmation of the person who finds the site that is the right page to stay on. They don't want to feel misdirected or manipulated somehow. Yeah.
She's very good teaching. Thank you, Silvia. I'm glad to know that because I didn't like I that's why I asked, but this is really good. Now I'm going to pay attention on my website to see if I'm putting I don't know actually if I'm putting the right words, but I probably will come to you because I need that to make sure that it works properly. That's really good. Oh, wow. And
I
tell me,
do it.
Sylvia, sorry,
Yeah.
you were about
No,
to say.
I wanted to tell that I do a lot of training like this because you're not the only one, Yola, who does not know how this works. I mean, mainly, generally, people hear about SEO and they say, that's something difficult. But basically, if you've got a business, if you've got a website, there are some very basic level of information that you should have. And when I'm going to events, business events and something, I'm often asked to do some talks about this. And I love doing it because I believe it's empowering for business owners to understand how it works. Then you really start thinking at things differently.
That's really true. I'm just feeling by the conversation I'm having with you, I'm already empowered. Thank you so much. And regarding, I see that you do articles and guides on SEO. Where do you post them? Where can we find them? So do you have a page, a YouTube channel, or how do you create them and where do you share?
Yeah, particularly for this mission and goal to educate people, but normal people like you and me on SEO, people don't have necessarily a technical background. I've been doing a lot of information like this in both ways, either written articles, but also videos, because I've seen that it is easier for people to watch a video or to listen to it. And the videos can be found on my YouTube channel, PinkSEO Marketing. We've got a YouTube channel, and I've been posting, I think like there's more than 30 free SEO guides and videos on basic, very basic things. They are just to let people understand how it works and bite-sized, very short things that you can get to crunch and understand a little bit better and build on. Otherwise, the articles are on my site again, PinkSEO Marketing in the blog.
Okay. All right, on the so they can find as well on the website. That's really good. And normally this small videos or articles, they are more focused on what kind of business, small or big business?
Yes, our main target are small business owners. We work with freelancers and small businesses with employees, but we want to make it approachable even for small businesses, because sometimes they think that SEO is only something for big players within the industry. Instead, if you've got a website, you should be able at least to understand how it works and to get it optimized, because it makes such a massive difference that leaving it just the business card that you show to people is a big wasted opportunity. The site should be able to get you a lot of leads and business opportunities by being found by people that you would not meet otherwise.
Right, that's really good. So Silvia, in terms of length, when you work with a company, let's say I'm now going to be working with you, you're gonna search or you're gonna check my SEO if it's working, my keywords, etc. For how long do you normally need to be working with this specific company, small businesses? Or because I know that you mentioned that you can straight away when you start to check the keywords and etc., you can say to your client that now it's working, and then when do you leave them?
Well, it takes a little bit of time for
Okay.
Google to really understand that a website has got some positive efforts, particularly if you've got a new website with a new domain, which is barely recognized by Google yet. There's been so much manipulation going on with new websites being created all the time just to make this kind of fake network links. Google now really wants to see that there is some consistency in the efforts that you take, and it's totally different. For example, if you're used to paid advertising, like Google advertising, as soon as you start paying, you're immediately on the first page of Google. But then when you stop paying, you completely disappear. With SEO, that it is kind of a slow burn, so you need to work all your way up from the very bottom of the results pages, improving and getting better to outrank your competitors, because it's all a very competitive type of game. You need to be better than the ones above you so you can outrank them, and then you can outrank some more. And it needs consistency. It really depends on the type of website. For example, backlink profile, how strong it is, how many links they have. But yeah, within the first 6 months, you can expect to start seeing some first page results. If you target the right keywords, because not all keywords are born equal. There are some ones that are very difficult, nearly impossible to be achieved, and there are a lot of lower hanging fruits. So you also need to do this phase of keyword research in a very strategic kind of way, so that you target stuff that you can actually achieve within your range.
So that means like at least 6 months I will need to work with you as my example.
Yeah, well, so within 6 months, month by month, you could expect to receive from us a statement of what we've done, how it's affected positively your site, and what we're going to do next. But I like to give realistic expectation to people, because you may hear people, they say tomorrow you're going to be on the first page of Google, but if you hear this, you should be aware that there is something shady going on, because it's not possible that someone within the next day they're going to put your site on the first page of Google. It just doesn't work like that. It needs some continuous effort and optimization.
Oh, okay, got it. That's amazing. That's amazing information. What a great podcast session for learn more about SEO. Wow, this is amazing, because I didn't have idea, and I believe my listeners, some of them, if they're running a small business, they can get in touch with you, they can find more information through your links and etc., because this is very, very powerful. Like you said, you like to share, to empower, because you think it's powerful, and it is very empowering. Like, whew, it's very good. So thank you again, Silvia. And my last question goes like, how can people connect with you and find more about your work? I know that you mentioned before some couple of places, links, but let's hear again. So,
well, we are basically on all of the social media, so you can use the one that you like the most. If you're happy with Facebook, you find us on Facebook. If you like YouTube, you can find the videos. On LinkedIn, I'm particularly active, because that's the place that for me it's easier to get connections with, because it's B2B. So from business to business on LinkedIn, all these connections work very well. So I welcome, if possible, the new connections. But all of my sites on PinkSEO.marketing, you find all the explanation of what we do, the services, the packages, and the contact us. So you can just drop me a line. We read all of the contacts. So
that's really good to know.
With a little bit of feedback, and let us know if you like the podcast, if you'd like to learn more or something.
That's really good. Thank you so much. This is really good. So everyone can access all the information about Silvia del Corso and PinkSEO. PinkSEO, right? That's the name.
Yes,
Yeah.
PinkSEO.
SEO. Yeah, SEO is another thing. SEO, I'm sorry. You see, I just mix it. I've got this SEO in mind, but I'm reading like CEO, like a CEO, but I'm thinking about SEO. But yes, all the information will be on the details of the podcast when it comes live. Silvia, once again, thank you for this opportunity to understand, to learn, and to improve. And I'm sure we're going to get in touch because I will need your support and your help on my website. I would love to be able to work with you as well. Thank you.
So nice. Thank you so much, Yola. I'm delighted. And thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm very, very grateful.
You're welcome. God bless you. Bye bye. Hello, hello. Once again, I want to say thank you for joining us on our podcast episode. We came to the end of this episode, but we will have another episode next week. So don't forget, follow us so you can catch the next one. You take care, and I speak with you next week. Bye.